Hello, hello, everybody. Thank you very much for having us. This is an incredible event, very cool venue, and really excited to be chatting with you all today about product development and UX UI, really focused on the consumer ecosystem with crypto. So we're going to start with some demos, maybe some intros, and then we'll dive into the panel. So I think first up is Svet.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Svet. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Rhuna, and we are presenting the Rhuna today, what we are doing.
I think the video is going to play.
Yeah, we are white label payment infrastructure for the big events and medium events. And everything that you see in this demo, it's working on the Rhuna, that meaning the payments, the bracelets, ticketing solution, from A to Z, everything is powered by the Rhuna.
Very cool. Next up, Parth.
Yeah, hi. Hi guys, this is Parth. I'm the founder at Stan. Stan is a companion app, sort of like a hangout app where people come, they make friends, they chat, they play. So it's a very social experience. And we've been building from India, focusing on mobile-facing geographies. Roughly about 30 million downloads now. And yeah, that's me.
We're ready for the demo.
Welcome to the world where your attention is an asset. Introducing Photon, your attention token. Photon is more than a token. It's the engine of a next-gen content ecosystem built on Shelby's decentralized hot storage. Not just reach, real conversion. Photon Ad Library. Own your attention. Own your value. Welcome to Photon.
Yeah, so just to connect Photon and Stan, so Stan is the mobile application, the platform where users hang out. Like I said, there's a lot of social play, there are a lot of creators, so people come to watch content, upload content, and a lot of these are like your YouTubers who have like 10 million subscribers, 20 million subscribers, and then we've got like gamers who are super engrossed in playing games like Counter-Strike, PUBG Mobile, Free Fire, all your shooter games and casual games. And then when we started our journey, it was primarily how do we solve for these guys, and then now that it's a huge ecosystem of almost 5 million plus creators. Out of that, like 350K make a lot of money on the app, and then 30 million users. We were like, how we can take this value to a much larger play. So that's Photon. We're going to talk about it in the upcoming panel with Shelby guys. So yeah, that's pretty much about us.
Cool. And then we have Jen with Toho.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm the founder of Mofu Music Caravan, which is now the most popular NFT collection on Aptos. And also we have this big partner from Japan, which called Toho, is also well known as have the biggest amount of cinemas and entertainment fields in Japan. And this time we're now building a platform called Osu, which providing IP holder and IP fans with an ecosystem thing. So yeah, glad to be here.
Cool. Excited to see the demo.
Sure, it's like everywhere we bring our IP to, it's really become an event as we see with a really long lineup. So we would like to leverage all these like IP resources into event, pop-up, fan meetings, and also now we experiment with Aptos on Aptos doing an NFT ticketing function. And for the next step, it's more like a loyalty system that all the IP fans can enjoy with the whole ecosystem, can redeem everything through points, through token in the future. So yeah, it's more like fandom-based things we're dreaming about, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Well, I'd say each of you guys are building in very cool spaces: social media, gaming, creators, live experiences. And there's some really interesting dual audiences that you're looking to reach, both on the kind of host, IP holder side, the actual creators and gamers, and then their audiences and communities, right? So with each of those opportunities comes some really interesting ways to integrate blockchain technology. So I'm curious to hear at the outset, what was really the origin of your project? What was the moment where you realized you could build something really cool for these community experiences, and how did you get started? Maybe start?
Yeah, sure. So I've been in the, IP industry for long, working as a producer. So we face to all these IP fans a lot. And they're really, fascinated with all these artists that we bring overseas. And on the other side is because we're working close with all these IP partners. As an IP holder, for example, for Toho, we have I would say the top tier animation work that we have. So everywhere we go, we partner with Toho, and people ask us why don't you bring Jujutsu Kaisen into the Web3 industry? So this is really a hard question to answer. To be realistic is for Jujutsu Kaisen's colleague that we have in his or her email box. It's tons of emails of offers coming every day on a daily basis. They almost don't have really time to deal with all the cases one by one, even in Web 2. So it's really, unrealistic for them to try something new in Web 3, which is hard to forecast what's the business goal will be. So what we focus on is really to scale up the business for all our IP holder as a client. So we bring the IP to overseas to bring it as an event, as a pop-up, and we do monetization in a way that they understand. So this is also where we start, we put the NFT ticketing on chain, which is on Aptos now, so it's a seamless, keyless. So all the user, they don't really need to know how to open a wallet or how to make the NFT. So they only get the entrance of the event. They want to get into the event. I think it's something similar to all the music festival that we're using NFT as a ticketing. So they want to get into the event, but after that, several years later, I'll say I've attended all the previous event about Jujutsu Kaisen, maybe. So I want to show my loyalty upon this IP, but I don't know how to do that. And also from the IP holder side, they don't know who's the fan who really have who's the hardcore fan and what's the needs for them, especially for overseas users. They don't know what they actually looking at, because they're in between their master licensor, their sub licensor. There's so many people in between. So we think as a bridge of IP holder between IP users, we can be the bridge and use leverage the blockchain technology to really benefit the user, benefit the IP holder. So this is where we start to.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you were really looking to help your IP holders sort of export their product.
Yeah, to scale their business.
Yeah, and engage with different communities. Very cool. And then on Rhuna's side, kind of different set of stakeholders that you're working with, really looking to sort of enhance the overall concert experience through payments, right? And that sort of attendee experience. So talk to us about how you first started the project, what the first sort of prompt was, the first event you guys did, really the origin story.
Yeah, our story is quite very interesting. We are one of the largest entertainment group in the Europe, and it's a naming untold, and we owning a couple of IPs, and this IP is also a couple of festivals, and one of the festivals top 3 worldwide. It's naming untold. It's first place it's Tomorrowland, the second place it's Ultra Miami, and the third one is Untold in second round of the year. And in our existence of 10 years, We tested a lot of suppliers that needed to be for the ticketing, for the payments, for the access, and so on. And after we decided to build our solution, its naming, and from that our solution, when we built, so many organizers come to us and said what you're using. And from that point, Rhuna started to be the public infrastructure for many events. For us, the main point it was we, let's say, landed in the blockchain 1 year ago. Why? It was because of the banks. Banks are, let's say, eating a lot of the fees that it's go nowhere, just go to the bank, and organizers, also us, are not making the money. Plus also the ticketing, but the ticketing, honestly, it's not so important for us. We are more focused on the payments. On the ticketing, we are, let's say, focused on the secondary market, because from our examples, one of the organizers was sold one ticket 120 times on the secondary market, and just one guy passed the event. And blockchain is helping us for secondary market. For first layer of a market, I would say it's comme ci, comme ça. And also it's so many things like data analytics, because we also, like, just imagine when you have a big events like over 5,000 of the people, 5,000 of the people, just 500 of 1,000 of the people, sorry, in 4 days. You needed to be working everything smooth, and you have so much data, and some vendors also complaining, okay, what I make, what I sold, why I sold, how much I sold, and the blockchain is very transparency, and they can check, and we don't need to send them Excel files or something like this.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's really making the payments experience seamless,
Yes, exactly
but also
so.
providing that sort of analysis and analytics to vendors, the different sort of companies and touch points that you might have at a live experience. Very cool.
Yeah, and like until now, we managed to already have 2 million users in our platforms, that it's
Incredible.
worldwide. We are quite proud about it.
Wonderful. And I'm sure the fans are really excited to see whenever they get to engage with your product at live experiences.
Yeah, let's say our focus, we are always saying, yeah, we are also on Web3, but we always say that we have the infrastructure that's Web.5. Why? Because we are bridge between Web2 and Web3. Honestly, it's in the worldwide, it's only 10% who are using Web3, and you always need to focus on Web2, and many projects, my opinion, in Web3 don't understand this one, because you need to have real adoption, real life, and nobody knows who is the crypto in there. For example, my mother never will, or my grandfather never will use the Web3.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, Parth, would love to hear a bit more about Stan. I love the name. Seems like a really cool project that sort of feels like a cross between Discord, but specifically built for gamers, a lot of traction in India. Would love to hear a bit more about your origin story.
Sure. Are you an Eminem fan by any chance?
Am I a what fan?
Eminem fan? No?
Like the candy?
No, the rapper.
Oh, sure. Fan of both.
No, that's where the name came from, basically.
Oh.
Yeah, just kidding. So I think my journey, I've been building games from long, almost a decade now. Back when I was in college, I used to build hyper-casual games. So I've spent so much time hanging out with other fellow gamers, and also like these content creators, influencers, KOLs. And everybody had their own bit of frustrations. I mean, the users had frustrations around where should I go and find friends.
Yeah.
People are getting lonelier every now and then. They're just scrolling on social media platforms. As a gamer, I'm always seeking friendships and also seeking the best competitive friend of mine who can join my squad. And all those problems, needed a solution. We had different platforms solving different purposes, but everybody had sort of like a very fragmented experience. From a creator perspective, I think the creators continue to post a lot of content, right? I think with the new AI infusion, everybody is building so much content, but how much is relevant, how much is getting rewarded is a question, right? Like I was at the Google's office yesterday in New York. They're our investors, and we were chatting around the same point that everybody wants to build content, but how much is actually seeing the right attention, right? How many content creators are actually getting the true value? So on the Stan's ecosystem, I think day one, the idea was, can we get the best experience between a gaming fan or a gamer and a creator and influencer, right? Like it can be as simple as, hey, I'm a big fan, I want to play with you. So if the YouTuber, the influencer, he comes on Stan and then he, starts a live game. And if somebody is ready to spend coins or tokens or whatever, you can just start joining the game. So it started from there.
Very
and
cool.
then it became massive because we started seeing a lot of people were craving for those exclusive experiences. So, and back then it was all NFTs on Stan as well. But then the overall platform transitioned into a whole ecosystem of how people interact with creators and gamers. And now we've announced Photon, which is building an attention layer on the entire stack, so that your attention gets rewarded, basically. So if you're a gamer, you're playing, you get rewarded. If you're a creator, you're posting content, you're posting videos, you get rewarded. And for people who are building games, they come on Stan and they promote their games. They get to their users on a lowest CAC possible. So that's how the ecosystem flourished. And now it's about 30 million users using Stan, and almost about a million creators who've tried actively hosting things. And we've almost dispersed, I think, $9 million plus creator earnings on the platform in the last 2 years.
Incredible. So really an emphasis on the creator economy
Exactly.
and how best to serve them. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So it feels like there's a shared layer of social engagement, certainly some sort of monetization layer, right? How can we make the most of the attention that each of these creators, hosts, all of that are getting? And I think what's really interesting about this sort of consumer crypto space is that it's equally as important what you are building and when, right? You're still wrong if you're early, you might say. And so it feels like the consumer space is really starting to percolate again. A lot of momentum thrust towards different consumer experiences. So I'm curious for each of you, like, why did now feel like the right time to invest in this new experiment? Why was there a gap in the market between maybe a few different disjointed applications or experiences that users could go to get some subset of what you were offering, but not cohesively under one application? Like, why is now the right time?
Yeah, I think there's many elements that when we're talking about why is when. Starting from from Toho's perspective view, from 2022 there's a boom of NFT, and we're our selling images can make so much money. We're really good at doing images. We have the best creators. Why don't we try NFTs? At the moment, we have the idea starting from there, and also from Toho's view, it's all that we have a mission about so far only Godzilla is 100% owned IP by Toho. All the other animation works, it's a committee. It's more like a joint venture with all the other publishers. So we have this mission to build our own IP, that's Mofu. And we started this project 2 years ago, and it really takes time for animation productions to really get done with all the work that we just showed with the video. It really takes a long time, and also the animation production studio is really limited resources. So it's a time that also Toho is doing a lot of M&A to have more animation studios to really get hands on the work that we want to build the new IP. On the other side, I feel it's Web3 has been already developed a lot, very different waves that until now, we feel personally, I feel finally we have these needs really upon the real needs for users, for individual users, why it's a time that we use NFT for ticketing and why it's Web3. And this is all the answer that we have been asking ourselves a lot. But I think until recent, there's a true reason or true needs that we need to bring on all these loyalty things, because it's not because of the token become stable or not. It's more about the technology. So I think it's still for early stage for Web2 users to really what's really going on the Web3 side. But for enterprise enterprises like size. In Japan also for Sony, they're building their own chain, and for Toho, we're experiencing like through the IP and all the other like partners. I mean, all the other enterprises in Japan, or we say IP holder, they're trying to understand what's going on Web3. So this is a good trend for us to already take some experiment and also already collecting the data from users and how to help them to build the fandom for now is, I mean, like extremely have this true need compared to before.
Yeah. I mean, that feels like a very bullish signal for kind of consumer applications across the board. And so when thinking about early product development, right, it's a lot of experimentation, testing different use cases, different features, and your early users are so critical in that early development, whether they're your partners, they're the users, some of the early kind of clients that you're working with. How did you go about working with these partners to actually shape the initial product, right? What was the number one thing that they were looking for, maybe on your side, Svet?
Yeah, my opinion, the user experience, it's most critical thing in the, also in Web 2, Web 3, whatever there is. For us, it was most interesting that we first was testing this user experience of our clients, and after we extended to our organizers and so on. But we always, until now, we are fixing behavior of a user. We are seeing what they're doing, how they're doing, and we optimize the flows, like to be more easy to buy the tickets, to top up the bracelets, to spend the money and so on. Like people who want to go to any events, festival, aqua park, theme parks, they need to enjoy this experience, but not to, let's say, fight with the technology that it's mostly everyone is doing now. And because, like, let's say also to add to the previous question, the right moment now is that before everyone was focused on the only DeFi solutions, I think now also many protocols, like also Aptos, it's trying to force also normal users, like the daily users, who is going to the concert, to the ticketing, also playing, and user experience need to be leveled up. If it will be leveled up, also it will be more and more engaging with the blockchain, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious, when you're building sort of product suites with, multiple sets of features, different functionality, as a builder, maybe for you, Parth, the app does a lot, right? What was something that you introduced that actually didn't land, or that you learned a lot from, that decided, hey, the way that the users are actually engaging with this feels different from maybe how we initially thought? Like, how does that play out when developing a social app?
Yeah, I think, like I said, we started with NFTs.
Yeah.
So 2022, 2023, we offered NFTs of esports players, like the YouTubers as well. And
cool.
if you are holding on to that NFT, you can get a chance to play with these guys online on the live stream. So back then, RWA was not something which everybody's talking about, but we were already doing it. But I think the interesting thing happened was we had 500 million gamers in India, right? Wow. And not everybody was getting close to the NFT, right? But everybody wanted it. So basically,
good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have. But I and the team personally wanted that everybody should start seeing what Stan has, or at least get a trust to what we offer, right? Not just like a very close group of people. So what happened is I think we distributed about 20,000 NFTs back then, and then we were believing that the secondary marketplaces are going to solve for the rest of the 500 million, right? But that was impossible, and we started trying different solutions that let's craft 2 NFTs into a new NFTs and so on and so forth. But things were getting complicated. Like, what he said, user experience is a must. So we started thinking that, can we make it simple? Can we just drop the idea of the NFTs? And by the way, we never called them NFTs. We called them cards on Stan, because we're all enjoying Pokemon cards, WWE Trump cards. So we were like, we should not give it a name around NFTs. The gamers don't understand about it. So, but the cards being very like those exclusive transactions on chain, and then how do we get this to almost, let's say, 1 million plus users? So we just dropped the NFTs. So now it's as simple as you download Stan, You get into a online live club on Stan, which is like the chat room where they are playing, and then you start spending Stan coins, and that's it. Now almost about 6-7 million people are transacting and getting experience of what we offer. So that's what we killed. We started off with that, but that became very popular though. The brand kind of started getting created there.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting to sometimes have to sacrifice something that feels
Exactly.
beloved from the outset, but then can sort of evolve into.
We might launch that again, by the way.
Hey, we love
Yeah.
the second go round.
I think like for us, all three of us, it's very important to bring a Web 2 experience with Web 3 power. This is the mission of our.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good point, right? Because I think anybody building in this Web 2.5 space, which is sort of the convergence of consumer applications with e-commerce, with new incentive layers, with crypto, you really have to figure out how to not only be discoverable by a non-crypto user, but actually end up appealing to them and feel like you're speaking their language, introducing systems that are very familiar to them. So what is like the number one thing that you thought about from building for that non-crypto user? Was it the login experience? Was it the point systems that you introduced? Like what was the thing that you as your product was like you have to have, right, from a UI perspective?
From our side, it was exactly onboarding is most important. That meaning everyone who is creating account or register, everything is behind by abstraction. We are creating auto wallet, we are creating everything behind. And user, if they are, let's say, new in the Web3, they even didn't know that they are Web3.
Yeah.
But if you are Web3 native, you can export your private keys and so on to it. This is what's most important, because many times, like in our example, we also have some examples when somebody was buying the tickets to some concert, and most cool thing that the grandmother, like it was 70 years old, she was buying a couple of tickets for the kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's amazing. If she managed to do it, just imagine who everyone can do it, you know?
Yeah, passes the test.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. And then in terms of kind of when to obfuscate the blockchain of it all, versus when experiencing the blockchain actually enhances the product in and of itself. What was one crypto feature that you introduced, maybe for you, Parth, that users who were maybe non-crypto native actually like latched onto and were very sort of keen to engage with?
Yeah, I think when it comes from a social and gaming standpoint, we were all about how can we boost the ARPUs, which is the average revenue per user, and LTVs using blockchain. That was my fundamental, problem statement, because when you used to hang out with all these gaming studios, they were like, it is a cycle that people come to the game, they play for a while, and then you lose all the LTV after a point.
Yeah.
We were like, can we build use cases where the LTVs can go up, right? The retentions can go up. But I think putting all of that on the front in the first 6-7 months shouldn't be the case. Like, you need to start with the actual use case that we were like, let's get these guys to hang out and play together, and then get them to taste rewards around it, right? It shouldn't be that people should refer your platform to a friend for incentives. No, it should be for the use case that, hey, so-and-so guy is live on Stan, and you should come and you get a chance to play with him.
Yeah.
So that's where it all started. And then the moments we use some of these influencers to talk about, you have a wallet on Stan where you get to collect your rewards, and the guy explains it, it makes lives easier, right? Instead of just going and, I remember when we were building the first beta, everybody was offering us web solutions. And back then, a lot of mobile solutions which were democratized never existed, which exist now if you're starting to build. So this was 2022, right? MetaMask plugin and all those days, right? And I was like, I can't send my game, like my guy from Stan app to the web to get the plugin downloaded. And then I'm like, this is all bullshit. I just don't want to do it. Let them come and hang out. But then we solved abstraction when nobody started thinking about it. Because we were like, if they just log in with their email, and I can get them a place where their rewards are getting collected, but they come to that after they experience the core of the product, it's going to win. And that's how it transitioned, and then it started boosting our LTVs, and average revenue per user, that's when we were like, this is happening.
Yeah, yeah. It's very interesting the different ways that you can kind of tinker ever so slightly with something and it makes all the difference. And I'm curious on the kind of metrics and KPI side. What is the number one sort of signal for success, either within the app, what you're hearing from your community? Is it sales, maybe on the NFT side, time spent in the app? Like, what's the number one metric that you guys are building towards?
Yeah, I think for us, it's more like every time we do content creation, it's more about like if people is talking about the topic or not. It's people talking about the
Social,
this IP or not.
socialism,
Yeah, the
yeah.
social engagement. I think it's like probably the number one thing that we care about. I mean, for IP, we always say like in 20 works, only one gonna really be a great IP. People still gonna remember it after years. We have like more than 50 movies showing on air in Toho cinemas, but like after years, there are only like I would say less than 5 things is still remembered by people, especially for overseas. People remember us for Ghibli Studio's movie, for like the latest Demon Slayer, for Your Name, for Pikachu, like all this stuff that we made is a last long IP. But all the other film, we're taking films like tomes of film, but people don't really remember every single of it. So it's really about the buzz, and also this is something that we think linked to the fandom, linked to like the power of IP behind it.
The
So
brand
there's
value.
so many fake needs in the industry. I feel like people say like why don't do tokenized IP? Like all those stuff is something that a fake needs for users as well as for IP holders, because it doesn't really solve the real problem for them. So I think buzz really show, the social engagements really show. I mean, if it's KPI, show the number that to prove that this content, this IP business is cost like long-lasting business or not.
Yeah, really the brand value of the IP and how that can be extended through different formats. Yeah, very cool. And maybe for you, I imagine it's just transaction volume, right?
I would say we have two sections of the KPIs. It's one KPIs is attendance, that is coming to the organizers events, and first one, it's for us most important, is organizers numbers. That means these organizers can be aqua parks, theme parks, festivals, concert. That meaning if we have these guys who want to use the infrastructure, that meaning also we are bringing more and more users, volume transaction and so on, because adoption is real there on the organizer side, because they are implementing, they are building the real world experiences.
Yeah. And for you on Stan, in my mind, it might be when Stan content starts getting circulated on TikTok or Instagram.
I think it started with Instagram and YouTube for sure. Like it's been always viral. So something like what he does, we do Stan Fest.
Oh, cool.
So Stan Fest is an offline event. We got 30,000 people come in for the last one, and then I think the biggest KPIs for us have been the creator earnings, like how much are creators making and how many creators are making money through Stan, because the problem statement we started off with was all these YouTubers, they were fed up with their ad revenues. They were like, some of my videos just go viral and I don't know which ones will go viral, and then I'll make some ad revenues, but then what next, right? And then, and now we have, like I said, almost $9 million worth of
Incredible.
creator earnings dispersed from the platform in the last 2 years, and it's growing month on month. Like last month, we had 350K creators who made money on the app.
Wow.
So creator earnings is definitely fundamental for us. And then obviously we track engagement on the platform, transactions on the platform. And I think one of my favorite KPIs is how many users are downloading organically.
Yeah.
And I think still it's about 70-75% monthly we are seeing people organically downloading Stan. So these are
Where
like...
does that come from? That sort of app discovery come from?
Yeah, I think it's just becoming a thing, right? It's like I have a best experience, and I just tell Sweat that, hey, you need to try this out. You get the best streamers there, and then the streamers themselves, they just put it on their YouTube, the links to Stan.
Yeah.
They're like,
That
all my
cross-pollination,
audience
yeah.
should come. So I think that flywheels have to be created.
Yeah.
Like everybody on Instagram Reels start talking about, hey, you gotta check Stan. It's an amazing platform. I think all of those things working together is driving the high organic inflow of users every month.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe as one of our last sort of categories that we can talk about would be around points and rewards. Very popular in crypto. Some do it very well, some not so much. But it's not a new concept, right? Rewarding user activity. We have airline miles, credit card miles. Like rewards are almost a tale as old as time, right? So what makes them actually sticky and maybe new in different use cases? And alternatively to that, like when do they not matter at all?
And this is actually a hot topic internally in
Yeah.
Toho right now because we like release that in next April. We're gonna combine all the cinema, stage, Toho, animation stores, membership all together into a like point system. Like nothing related with Web3 yet, but it's more about like internally we have this question raised like through doing this because it's really a tough work because we have so many like more than 2 million users like go the cinemas every like on a weekly basis. What's the point that we making all the membership system all together? It doesn't really make money. And for the next step is like after we gaining point, after all these users receiving point, where to use the point, and where to use the point, and how does it link to the feeling of the user that they want to consume for their favorite IP. So this is something that trigger all these users to behavior as IP fans, behavior as IP consumers. So through point, I think they eventually understand that they are a consumer of the point, a consumer of IP related to anything that related. So this is also the ecosystem we believe that in a like ecosystem of entertainment, people don't like for the IP fans, what they want is not earning money. It's not earnings. Like for them, the earning is like all this limited edition of the chance to meet your favorite IP, meet your favorite artist, like to get all this limited edition of figure. This kind of thing is the rewards that we think that really can be the experiment that we put in the point system.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of sometimes bragging rights, that sort of badge that you might wear as the top consumer of something, but also exclusivity, what it unlocks, and then like redeemability, right? We were talking, and these fabulous shoes are redeemable.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah,
this is the merchandise of Mofu Music Caravans.
Like
NFT
I want
collection.
them. That's an incentive for me.
Thank you. Thanks. We are now the most popular NFT collection on Aptos, and people download Petra, Wapao for like
the
getting the shoes. Yeah.
Can I buy those?
You
No.
cannot buy. You can only
You
be
need
the
to download
holder
it
and redeem through the
reward.
point. This
There
is
are
how
things that
loyalty
money
system
can't
works.
buy.
Too
But
good.
points can buy them. Maybe not traditional money though, right? Yeah, so it's super interesting way of connecting these sort of real world experiences to the sort of personal sentiment to ultimately like redeemability, which is really cool. Points, how are you guys thinking about it?
For us, it's points like also, it's quite good point that meaning, let's say, I would say the people is quite addictive with the points because they are
Psychologically, it tickles that in your brain.
yeah, they are, let's say, making referrals, sending to their friends, like how he said. And after, from our case, when you're making more points, these points you also can, let's say, buy with discounts, tickets. You also can go to festival, buy with merchandising, anything. That meaning these points is real asset and real world, and they can spend it and so on. I think points it's very cool. Everyone wants to be addictive with something, and points it's exactly like a gambling style, let's say.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think they're sugar highs.
Yeah?
I remember like when I was, in my childhood days, so in India, we go to the temples, right? And our parents take us to the temple by saying that you're going to get a dessert free when you enter the temple, right? So that dessert becomes a motivation to try out going to the temple. So I think points are exactly, if you plan it well, you can drive adoption to your platform, to your project, but then it shouldn't lose value, like she said, right? Like it shouldn't be like just cash. If people don't want to cash, like people could get the shoes or anything. I think on Stan as well, like people are crazy about our merch. People are crazy about StanFest, a quick, hangout with the biggest YouTuber. And now I think things are scaling up massively. So we've just started doing anything and everything as rewards in your points. Like you can get a Spotify premium, you can get like, Bumble membership or whatever. Yeah. So I think or the shoes, yeah. So I think unless you retain the value, it's all good.
Yeah. Motivating and rewards. Like that's
Reward is most important.
Yeah, of course.
It's like a kids and we are trying to be adults, but kids always are doing something for the rewards.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, I guess as we're wrapping up, I'd love to hear from each of you guys kind of like what's next, what's happening now, anything you kind of want to leave us all with.
So for us, it's like we're now building the platform called Osu. It's starting from the NFT ticketing, but it's more like a product that really bridge IP fans with the IP holder. So we like dreaming about future that every single user can enjoy the point system, the reward system with us through all the entertainment IP. And we're gonna focus in Japan first and bring the IP from Asia to the world.
Cool.
For us, we are proud to announce today we are launching the Rhuna application for the consumers. That meaning anyone who wants to create his party, his concert, whatever, you can download it today. You can create for free the tickets, and you can enjoy, have a best party. And from this moment, I think so Aptos will be on the Rhuna infrastructure. That meaning all events will be started to be on the Rhuna infrastructure. Plus, we are happy to announce the collaboration and partnership with the Tapped, that meaning in the Untold Dubai, that it will be in 3 weeks.
Cool.
We have a stage, crypto stage, where the people can top up the bracelets, their accounts with the crypto, fiat, with the help of the Tapped.
Amazing.
I think a lot of announcements this week during Aptos Experience, so we were like, we should announce something.
What do you got?
No, so I'm just kidding. So I think the Photon idea existed from long. Stan transitioning from a fat app to a protocol so that we can get the true value across the ecosystem. Like your users, creators is what we solved a lot for. Now it's about the game publishers, the studios, the brands who want the attention of these two guys. And attention economy was in generally, not working out well. So, with Photon, that's something which we're going to addressing. It's like a beast in itself, but it's going to be, it was obvious for us because we had so many users, influencers live with us. So attention economy is now what we are solving for.
Okay. Brave ambitions across the board. I think you guys are on the front lines of consumer and mainstream adoption and building incredible things. So really excited to just follow along and maybe get some shoes, maybe get some points. Yeah.
I really want these shoes.
All right. Thank you guys. Thanks so much.